All right, Monday. I'm back again because it's Monday, and I told you I would be. And I'm just working on a few things on the desk, and we'll see what we want to talk about. Putting together these dolphins. Like I said, I wanted the saber-toothed cats, but the only way to get them was to buy a package that came with a bunch of dolphins too. And not 100% sure. Maybe I'll just give the dolphins away, like to young family members or something. There's probably someone in my family that likes Flipper, and I could probably just be like, "Hey, you want to Flipper?" And okay, what do we got? We got Timothy Pilkington. What's up, Timmy?
Hey, how's it going?
Tim, why does your elf got a beard, man?
Because he's cool.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna be horribly ostracized from other elves because of it.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, "What are you, part dwarf or something?"
Yeah, yeah.
Weird. They're going to talk bad about your elf character's mom. They're going to talk about
Yep.
the possibility of sometimes she was in a tavern with a dirty digger lover.
Digger lover.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh God. Yeah, I actually did talk. Bubba did talk about that. And how my character's gonna have a lot of enmity against from his own kind because of the beard. I'm like, I like it actually.
Yeah, they're going to look at you and be like, bro, what's up? You know,
Yeah.
which is cool. I mean, if you want to play that kind of character, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him out like a social pariah kind of thing. Maybe even like I'm not sure if the beard was there as a kid. I'm thinking no, he was like this one thing where
He
people
was
liked him.
born with a beard.
Yeah, born with. I'm thinking of him being like as a kid being shown as like this exemplar, but then when he grew up and had this beard, social ostracization and all that
They're
stuff.
like, get out of here.
Yeah. Hey, Hungar. Nope.
Hello, Hungar the Starvarian. The
Oh
Starvarian
boy.
one. Huh?
Yeah, I think it's got to be a fun character.
Oh, he's joining the stream again?
Yeah.
How many times that? I mean, I don't mind having him on the stream a lot, but
Well, my mic wasn't working, so I had
Oh
to
god.
reset my shit.
Um,
oh, okay.
we got double host now.
Yeah, right. It's like a double hoss.
You guys should be
Yeah.
so lucky.
Yeah, yeah, probably. So,
Lucky or cursed.
You're playing an elf, Timmy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
but we've all decided not to make fun of him.
can't make fun of his elf mama.
We
Well,
already
everybody
were
else
doing
is.
that. We already did that.
Yeah.
You're late. If you'd been here a little earlier, you could have been all part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're early.
A lot early, actually.
Yeah.
By
I
like,
mean, I do have a game tonight.
I
Which,
don't know, 30 minutes early, huh?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
36
decided to
minutes
just
early.
start early, see what's going on. I owe my wife a game later tonight.
Why, you feel like losing something?
Never, but this is my fate.
Yeah, because I've played games with your wife too, and it's nice to play. It's fun to win sometimes.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it?
It
But
would be neat.
but sometimes that is just not the way fate is going to be.
By my luck, I would not know the rules and still somehow win my first game. Maybe
No,
two
you,
games.
no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
I've
You know
actually
what
did that
though?
once.
That kind of stuff does happen though.
I know. I actually had that happen. I played a card game called Bang. It's like an old West style shootout game
I
with
remember that
cards.
game.
Yeah. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know what I was supposed to. Somehow won the first two games I played.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at James's house though. It don't matter if you invented the game. made the rules. If you're playing against his wife, you're probably going to lose.
Well, unfortunately, my brother-in-law, when he visited, we played Agricola, and he did not care for it.
Mm.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I was like, really, dude? And he's like, nah, too much going on. And I was like, well, okay. So then we just played Escape from the Dark Castle a bunch.
I was getting ready to ask if you played the Escape from the Dark Castle. Everybody loves that game.
Yeah. That is a great game for between 1 to 4 players. And that's really wild that, yes, you can play that game by yourself. It's just like that, you know? So I'm a huge fan. I am a huge fan.
You and me both.
Yeah. But yeah, we were playing some expansion they had that allows you to like actually pick up henchmen and stuff like that. So I mean it was cool. It was fun. We had a good time. And then we got her an ice cream cake for her birthday and
Oh, nice.
right. And then Mr. Spartan showed up and he hung out for a couple days.
Mr. Spartan.
Yeah, from your game group.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh. I thought he was already there, wasn't he?
They showed up first, then he showed up. It was we had a stacked house. All guest rooms occupied, the whole 9 yards.
It was a full family affair.
It was a full on thing going, you know. We got a whole lot of something going on. I forget who did that song. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire or something, but
After I got off the phone with you, I went to the store and bought me a 2.5 pound sirloin steak.
dude, every time you join the chat, the first thing you do is tell us what you ate.
It was steak, man.
I had sketty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
So they announced at the I think North Texas Con that Jeffrey Delanian is putting out a source book for Khromarium.
Nice.
I am super excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of like the heart of the whole world, really. You know? It's almost like the center of the world. It's where everything happens. So having a source book will be neat. Even though I will reserve the right to ignore anything I dislike immediately.
Well, yeah.
But I doubt there'll be anything I dislike. So if you ever visit again, buddy, you know what I'm putting on?
But
I'm putting on the Vietnam playlist. You can play the Vietnamese. And what I'm thinking is I'll give you 2 terrain that have like a little tunnel cut into them. And you can put them anywhere you want on the table. And then any figures you decide to keep off the table, after the second or third turn, you can start having them come out of the tunnels. And meanwhile, I'll be playing
Fortunate son.
Fortunate Son with my helicopters. They're coming in. We'll play the battle from We Were Soldiers.
as long as I get some freaking RPGs.
Well, of course you do. Like every squad's got at least one.
Yeah. But I've seen We Were Soldiers. I know how that movie ends.
It could have ended a very different way though.
Yeah, but it did end with a lot of dead Viet Cong.
Right, but it could have absolutely, had our soldiers not been such badasses, ended as a complete American massacre.
Yeah. You gotta give it up. You gotta give it up for both sides, though. Both sides fought really hard.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Both sides are fighting it out. It just turns out that in most cases, statistically or historically, I should say, speaking, American soldiers are the greatest soldiers in the world.
Yeah.
The only way we
In
lose
general,
is at
we
home.
just don't lose.
The only way we lose is at home with propaganda.
Exactly.
You heard about our boy Oliver Tree, didn't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
The guy who sings that one, the Goofy Song Life goes on and on and on. You've seen him, the one with the bow cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got killed yesterday.
Why?
2 helicopters crashed into each other in Rio.
Oh, so that's not he got killed. That's he died.
Well, he got killed in a helicopter crash.
Yeah, but
Like, was this an accident or on purpose? Because those are massively different things.
It was
Right.
okay. He died yesterday.
thank you. I'm not
Man.
trying to be like super pedantic, but when you say he got killed, my brain immediately goes to by who? Like
A
who
bad
killed him?
pilot.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that pilot did not mean to die. You know?
Yeah. Unless you know something about that pilot, I'm not so sure he's.
Yeah,
doing the
let's go out on a
killing.
limb here and say he probably didn't mean that. Well, it depends though. Was it a female pilot?
And see, that's what I was just thinking. I was like, yeah, it's not like she was flying a Black Hawk.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Nothing. These are the same big old stack of sprues I've had freaking haunting my desk for
Oh boy.
like a year now.
James is the king of sprues.
Well,
My nephew.
one of the things is a lot of these sprues are a lot of them are empty because I don't throw them away, or they're partially empty, or they're whatever, you know.
They call him the sprue master.
But I'm not getting into anything. I'm doing some kit bashing for, Hyperborea and stuff.
Talking about that though, my nephew, he's been saying robot. He wants that robot tool or that
Which robot?
that war. He's wanting my robot, Warhammer model that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been like yelling for the robot.
He's going to destroy that thing.
I'm
Yeah.
not letting him have it until he's old enough.
Right.
Yeah, what, 17?
No, I don't think he needs to be 17, but he does definitely needs to be older than 4.
So, yeah. So that was a thing that I saw like a week ago, but I thought I'd tell you about, Hungar.
What?
The Khromarium source book that's coming
Oh,
out.
yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Now, the only miniatures, Paul, that I've gotten recently were the ones my wife bought me for our anniversary. So I got some Frostgrave cultists, some serpent men, and some savage humans. And I've been converting the serpent men over, I showed you that. And the cultists, there were a couple of heads that come in the cultists it was cultist number 3. And I really, really wanted a couple of the heads that come in that. And then the savage guys, they just look like savage guys. So that's always a bonus, when you play a game like Hyperborea where, there's a bunch of savage guys running around. So that's just kind of what's going on there, Now, have I got figures since the last time we talked? Yes. Yes, I did. I just got something in today that I ordered a while back. And it is WizKids Deep Cuts Brigantes. And I'll probably be working on that here at some point. But it'll be pretty easy. I mean, they're not super complicated, and I don't think they'll be very hard. But The Briganti were they were, I think, the tribe that Boudica was a member of were the Briganti. So I didn't even know this, but Deep Cut sells this box of Briganti Celts, and there's like a guy blowing the big bronze boar-headed thing. I forget the name of that. It's got like a really wild name. And there's a chariot guy, a sacred bull, a druid, and a couple of warriors and an altar. So these, I took one look at them and I thought, yeah, these guys are definitely going to work out for Hyperborea, since a huge chunk of the southeast of the Hyperborean continent is actually ruled over by the Celts. So, all right, let's see. Shadow, war games in D&D. Yeah, that was kind of an issue that I went through a long time ago, and kind of the reason, stupidly, I ended up deleting all the videos on my channel is I started feeling like we were just always talking about the same thing every day. And I think to an extent, based on what I've noticed, it's kind of true. Like, and here's what's funny. Like, the really big channels out there, if you actually go through like 6 months of their whatever content, you'll notice that they really only talk about like 6 things, and they just loop those 6 things. So it's like, you can always find a couple videos arguing about alignments or ascending or descending armor class, or just whatever. Sometimes talking about games is very much, you're talking about the same shit. Now, for me though, I mean, I can talk about games I love all day, but that doesn't necessarily change the fact that, yeah, it's the same stuff over and over again. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Oh, I was looking for something and I found it.
Yay!
That's the best. But see, look at this. In order to get the saber-toothed cats, I had to get these.
Oh yeah, your dolphins you're talking about.
I have no idea what the point of that is, but you could not buy the saber-toothed cats alone. Oh, Haas just vanished.
Am I back yet?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah, my internet's acting stupid. Imagine that.
You are in the middle of freaking Tennessee.
I'm in Podunk Mountain Town. I'm like South Park.
I wonder how close you are to the town that Arrested Development was in.
I don't know.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Lord, I'm feeling so let down and out, losing faith. Although I am black and proud, brothers and sisters, he pessimistic. Why does it have to be so? Yeah, right? They
Yeah.
did Mr. Wendell too, I think.
Yes, they did.
Climb the trees my forefathers hung from. Yeah, for some strange reason it had to be. You guided me to Tennessee, to another place. Yeah, that's me. Tennessee. Anyway.
You're the only 10 I see.
Huh?
You're the only 10 I see.
Oh. Kriegspiel. Yeah, no. Going back to what Paul's saying, it's like the more it changes, the more it stays the same.
Yep.
So I've been putting I've been putting butt covers on my uh, blimmies, or as I like to call them, anal bum covers.
You win that round, Trebek.
Yeah, you win that round, Trebek.
Let's now.
Yeah, Lee tits now. What is this penis mightier, and where can I get some? How goes that? Are you winning, son? Yes, Dad.
Oh, we got 2 hosses again.
We got all the hosses. We got more hosses than anybody ever wanted.
Look, it's a funny hat.
But yeah, as I was painting these guys, I just could not help but notice that they just got naked asses.
Yeah. Did you make the one with the reverse loincloth where it's covered his ass, but it's leaving his junk open?
Man, if I was that guy, right, just start crafting little green stuffed penises for all of them.
Yeah, you gotta have one that's just confused and wears his loincloth backwards.
Nah, they all got loincloths on, and I wasn't going to put the butt cloths on, but then I decided, yeah, I'm going to, because I'm sick and tired of looking at their nasty asses. I can only take so much. How goes? I'm not battling right now. I was just telling Haas that we're going to play out the Oshawa Valley battle if he ever visits. I've got for those of you who know about Rubicon miniatures, I've got a U.S. Army and I've got an NVA Army, and then I've also got VC irregulars. And then for the U.S. Army, I've got a couple of tanks, 113s, and a couple of Hueys. For the VC, I've got some T-55s, some stuff like that. For the NVA, actually. The VC don't get shit. But I was like stuck in the crack like a square toilet, right? But I was saying if I ever ran a game, I would probably use the rules chain of command, which I really like, by Two Fat Lardies. And I believe there's a rule in there where you can have like, hey, Janet, how are you doing?
Hi, Janet.
There's a rule in there where you can have a side put down like markers and then deploy units from those markers at later in the game. And I was thinking like, give the VC some tunnels that they can place anywhere on the table, and then like turn, say 3, they can start deploying squads out of those tunnels up until a US squad actually moves onto the tunnel, at which case you would remove the tunnel, because it would mean that, someone chucked grenades down it or something, and just duke it out, right? And I'd probably do a thing where it would be X amount of turns, and starting at a turn, the U.S. objective is to evacuate by helicopter. And until the battle is over, every time the VC lose a full unit of troops, they just get to bring that unit right back. And that might make up for the fact that they're going to have to deal with napalm strikes and freaking,
It sounds like fun.
gunships and every other thing coming in. Well, I mean, it sounds like fun on the table. I don't think it'd be a lot of fun in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it'd suck in real life. Don't need any of that. But, yeah. So.
You'd be playing the 13th Air Cav.
No, first Air Cav.
Yeah.
I think that was, they were the first division, the first division. No, they were, what is that one?
It's the same as Custard.
Seventh Cav. Yeah, I think that was Custard, 7th Cav. So yeah, and I've got the decals to put the 7th Cav logos on all my choppers and stuff. So I got your best friend right here, Hungar. Zargon. He's just waiting to meet you.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that would be a good way to represent them in the game, is just as secret, kind of hidden deployment areas, like, and just say the Americans can't mess with them until they actually have been used. Right. So in that way, you could end up having VC popping up literally like all over the table.
Anywhere at any time.
Right. And then I'd have to make the sugar. I'd have to make not the rubber tree grove, because you have the field, the rubber tree grove, the jungle, and the mountains. That was how the battle was laid out. The rubber tree grove, which is to this day, they have like what's it called? Like memorials there. The rubber tree grove is where that one platoon got cut off, and it ended up like they held out all through the night, like 5 of them. So, yeah.
You're gonna make me watch that movie again.
Janet, thank you so much for wishing us a great day. My day has actually been pretty good. Hung out with the wife, got a couple things in the mail, got an empty house, so I don't know if that's good, because I love when family visits, but everybody went home, and now I'm just kind of relaxing a bit, because as my wife says, it turns out that I'm actually super introverted. So as much as I love my family visiting, I get really exhausted after a while.
Yeah.
Of just having to be, involved. So after that happens, a lot of times I just sit alone, kind of stare at a wall for a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret about my brother, everybody. Okay, James loves company. And the one thing that he fears is if he's got company, if they're not having a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
He wants to go out of his way to make sure everybody in the house is having fun. They got anything that they need. He is the greatest host.
Well, my wife, actually.
But he doesn't rest. He won't rest. He won't relax. Unless it's like me. If I'm down there visiting, James will be like, I'm taking a nap. You do whatever you want to.
Yeah, if it's Haas, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna lay down. I'll do whatever.
And like, I'm gonna lay down too.
Like, entertain yourself. But it's different because of how close we are, It's like, not saying you're not special, but it's just different because we're close. So it's like
we lived together for 30 of our years. We've only been living apart for 20 years of our lives.
Just about, yeah. Yeah. When we all lived over there in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Before that. That is the best times. And I know Tim's probably heard me say this a million times. But when Haas and I lived in the ghetto was probably some of the best times.
We had so much fun.
Yeah, well, it's like that, Janet, but the other way.
I'll stick to the backwoods of Kentucky.
It wasn't that we were in the ghetto. It wouldn't have mattered where we lived. It's just that time of our lives. We're just perfect.
Yeah, I'm not saying I loved it because of being in the ghetto. What I loved is it was my brother and me and one of our really close friends, and we were all roommates. And our house was like the D&D house for everyone.
We had a group of friends that were always coming over to play a game.
I can't wait to go back fishing again.
is like every Wednesday we would game. Like from the time I got off work at the concrete plant and showered up, it was gaming.
We
And
were gaming, and not only were we gaming like 3 or 4 nights a week, we were
oh
also involved heavily in the SCA. So we were making armor. We had our game group coming over. We had our
yeah, we were
freaking.
out in the backyard. But I had a smithy set up. I was making armor for all of us for the SCA.
It was just,
It
we
was
were all
it was
making good
just
money.
busy too, all the time. We were just all the time doing shit, you know?
It was just a great time of our life.
Yeah, it's a good time. And then women ruined it all,
Yeah.
pretty much. And I have no one to blame for that but me, because I was the one that got hooked up with some bitch and then
That
got
was
all
time
night.
of my life when I didn't let girls that I was seeing know where I lived because I didn't want them messing with me when I was at home.
Yeah, I got in a serious relationship, and that's when a certain guy we know got the title of the Game Killer. Because I'd been running Mech Warrior second edition for God quite a while, and all the players were loving it. We were having such a great time. But then I decided I wanted to go out and engage in coupling. And this guy said he wanted to run the game, and I said fine. And boy, within 2 weeks, that game was dead.
See,
Dead.
another thing you guys don't know about my brother, he has this disease that's called booty blindness.
Oh God, such a simp when I was young, wasn't I? I was the king of the simps, man.
And I was like the king of a whatever woman.
Yep. I remember one time my brother was dating this chick for a while, and she got smart and said something mean to me, and he dumped her right on the spot. Because that's how Haas was. He's like, oh, I don't like that thing you just did, so now you're done. But me, I was the exact opposite. I was a super simp when I was in my 20s, man.
You know,
Booty blind.
she still contacts me and like complains about us breaking up.
Dude, that's been 30 years.
Yeah.
Of course, time has not been good to her so far.
No.
You know that song?
Yeah.
You wish you had a brother. I wish you had a brother too, Janet. I was lucky enough to have, well, counting all the half brothers and stuff, to have, I don't know, maybe this many brothers. But I also had a younger sister who was only a couple of years younger than me. And she and I were super tight when we weren't fist fighting.
Yeah. She was 11 months younger than me.
Yeah. So I had that brother and a sister. And by the time I was 16, they were like 15 and 14. And we were all just running amok. And it was the best time.
Yeah, because me and James always had somebody to hang out with, play games with and stuff.
Yeah, each other.
Exactly.
The three of us would always hang out. And you have 4 sisters. Yeah. Yeah. See, I have, I think, a living sister, but I've never met her.
We've got like
2, actually. The Vietnamese half sister, and then the one in Kentucky I've never met.
2 in Kentucky.
2 in Kentucky I've never met. So, but
That we know of.
My family history is kind of wild like that. You miss yours? Yeah. My sister, unfortunately, passed away of an incredibly rare form of cancer when she was like 27. And I still miss her terribly.
Every day.
Yeah, she was the biggest pain in my ass. Oh my God.
Yeah.
There were days that I just wanted to eat lead and spit nails and shit because of her. And she hated Tom Petty, and I never understood that.
Because Tom Petty's amazing.
Yeah, well,
Right?
why would you hate Tom Petty?
Right?
Her thing
And I
was
would be sitting
anytime-
in my house, listening to Tom Petty, and she would just show up and start bitching about it.
I like Lucky. Come on.
Every time the song came on that she didn't like, she'd be like, "What is this, Tom Petty?"
Yeah, she hated Tom Petty so much that any music she didn't like was Tom Petty. By like some kind of miraculous transmogrification.
That's
But
weird.
like Hootie and the Blowfish become Tom Petty because she didn't like them either. So, and I'd just be like, I just got the radio on. I'm listening to classic rock. I'm minding my business. I'm in my house,
Running down a dream.
right? And she would just roll in and just tear shit up, and I'd just be like, "Oh God!" But that was just the way she was. She was a person with a very strong personality, and she'd throw hands like a man. But I guess she learned that from growing up with Haas and I.
Yeah, didn't
Yeah.
Tom Petty actually voice Lucky from King of the Hill?
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
And he was lucky because that chick was way too hot for him. You know what I mean? I forget her name, but his niece.
Luann.
Yeah, she's way too hot for that dude. And they drew him to look like Tom Petty, so he looked like a goofy bastard.
Yeah, I like the book they wrote, Dear Hootie by the Blowfish.
I like I had an album and it just had a bunch of people doing like remakes of Zeppelin songs, and Hootie and the Blowfish did Hey Hey What Can I Do? And I actually thought he did a pretty damn good job. Other people may disagree, but I thought, he did a pretty good job.
Darius Rucker is a good singer. I don't care what.
Yeah,
Say that's the people hated on Hootie like people hate on Nickelback.
And yet they were selling out the stadiums, right? I always point that out when people are like, Nickelback sucks. It's like, those dudes got like 1 billion platinum albums. They obviously do not suck. I mean, by any measurable like metric you want to use, Nickelback kicks ass. Sorry, you don't like them, and that's fine. You don't gotta like them. but this guy over here,
I love Nickelback.
like, what has 2 thumbs and loves Nickelback? This guy. Yeah. And people will be like, I can't believe you. All their songs sound the same. And I'm like, well, that's good because I like the way they sound. So,
we all just want to be big rock stars.
Rockstar is such a great video.
Yeah.
Because they just have everybody in it. You know, like they got freaking Gene Simmons. Tell me what you want. And the one dude from ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point, someone who was kind of cool said they didn't like Nickelback, and a bunch of people jumped on that bandwagon of not liking Nickelback, but secretly deep down inside, they still like Nickelback.
I mean, I can understand if you just constantly heard the songs constantly, maybe it'd get on your nerves, but
that's probably what happened because there was a couple of years there where Nickelback was like number one.
Yeah, number one and always playing.
Like every day.
I cannot agree with that because I have my Spotify list of songs that I listen to all the time. Like Michael McDonald comes on, I'm listening to it. Christopher Cross comes on, I'm listening to it.
Doobie Brothers.
Doobies, yeah. It's like, You know
what I listened to for the first time in like a couple of years yesterday, just to remind myself of how cool it was?
What?
Touch of Grey.
Ups. Grateful Dead.
Grateful Dead. Say your piece and get out, right?
I was listening to freaking the Moody Blues, and it wasn't Nights of White Satin either.
I like Wildest Dreams.
It's the one I was listening to.
Yeah, that's a good song, man. But, I mean, I don't think you're going to run into anybody that's like, I hate the Moody Blues. I mean,
It's like Procol Harum. Whiter Shade of Pale. Everybody loves that song.
You know that band Procol Harum? I just hate them. It's like, how? But you know what I was listening to? And I don't even know the name of the band.
Was it
Lucky Man?
I like EMP. Emerson Lake ELP. Emerson Lake and Palmer.
Yeah. He had white horses. All that shit. That's such a good song, man. I think some guys who try to act all macho secretly listen to Taylor Swift. I don't know that I try to act on macho. I do not like Taylor Swift, but I do have I do have a forbidden thing, and that is Britney Spears.
Yeah, yeah. James is a
Toxic.
big
Never-
Britney.
Okay, to be fair, I never hated Britney Spears. I don't go out of my way to listen to her, though.
Dude,
James is a Britney Spears fan.
Toxic and Womanizer are freaking bangers straight up. And her
Yeah,
old
that's fair.
stuff was okay, like the Oh Baby Baby song.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
that.
gonna tell,
Okay, song.
That was played so much.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you my secret hidden, jams.
What?
I'm a believer, baby.
Oh, the Monkeys, man. That's
No,
a
not the
secret.
monkeys.
No,
Justin
he's-
Bieber.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I'm
no.
a Bieber fan.
I'm not into any of the Bieber stuff.
No.
Baby, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby, baby.
Now, I
No.
did like In Sync, and I still like Justin Timberlake.
I love him sing. And Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's back. All right.
I mean,
I
I'm not
never
saying I
understood
bought
the
any of
band.
their albums or anything, but if it came on the radio, I'd be like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, but I don't care what somebody thinks about me because I listen to some music or other. Like 50% of the time, and my brother can attest to this, I'm listening to Soviet post-punk in Russian.
That's the freaking truth. You should see some of the stuff he sends me.
And it's just like, yeah, I'm like, check this shit.
I like listening to old Russian folk songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd visit James, and he'd be like, "Check out this new song I found," and he'd throw it on. It's in some language I don't understand, and he's like, "This song is a banger," and I'm like, "Dude, what are they saying?"
Well, I know though.
But then he'd also introduce me to stuff like Two Door Cinema Club and shit like that I'd never heard of, and I'd be like, "Yeah, this rocks."
Two Door Cinema Club, What You Need or whatever that song is freaking. And the other one where they're all dancing around, Ocean Blue.
Yeah, but I introduced you to OK Go.
Your son did the hair flip and everything. Oh man, the hair flip thing reminds me of the one dude on South Park, the goth guy. That's
Yeah,
always.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always like the goth people in South Park.
When the gods and the vampires are fighting.
Yeah, they go in and burn down Hot Topic. And one guy's like, "Oh my gosh, oh no."
You
Yeah.
cannot ground that which is ungroundable.
Mobius's son, man. Mobius. My oldest daughter sent me a picture of my second oldest grandson the other day. That kid's like 9. Looks just like, I don't know. Maybe you guys will know. Maybe somebody knows better than I do about how this works, right? But my daughter has managed to have 5 children, and every one of those kids look just like her. It's like there's no other parent. It's almost like she just somehow made kids that only have her genetics.
She
Because
was.
they don't look like her kids. They look like twins. And I'm just like, how did she do that?
She has the dominant genes.
She must. Because yeah, every one of her kids looks just like her. Like you can't see a bit of the dad in them. They just
And all those kids do is grow up.
that's all they do. My oldest grandson's 12. Oh man. Mobius and anyone here who was ever a parent, if you weren't a parent, you will never understand the joy of your kids finally being potty trained. Just the pure joy of never having to buy or change diapers again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is, and for me, it's monetary because I had 2 kids that were both in diapers, kind of overlapping. So I'm buying all these diapers, and that shit is expensive, man. And I was broke.
And for a while, James was a single father,
Yeah, I was a single dad for quite a few years.
and I was the single uncle that lived with him. The
And
kids
we-
lived with me and James.
Yep, the kids lived with their dad and their uncle, and we were kind of broke, but we went out of our way to make sure that they didn't know it.
It sounds like Full House.
It's
Kind
like
of, kind of it was, but it was because their mom was a whore and got thrown in jail.
Yeah.
remember the
Her own
Pokemon.
mom.
Remember the Pokemon Christmas?
Was that Burger King that did that?
Yeah, the Burger King had the Pokemon balls that came with the toys. So we'd
man,
buy a lot of Burger King.
We went to Burger King all the time
Oh God, though I hate Burger King though.
just to get. No, we were going and buying and eating that shitty food just to get the Pokeballs.
No.
And then when Christmas came around, we saved them all. And when Christmas came around, when we decorated our Christmas tree, we decorated it with Pokeballs.
And they
Yeah.
still have the toys in them.
That's what they. I'm like,
my
oh, that sounds cool.
daughters loved that shit.
So, and for Christmas, after they opened up their presents, they got to take all the Pokeballs off the trees and open those up and get more toys.
I would just hate having to eat Burger King.
We didn't care. It was for
You
the
do
kids.
what you got to do, man.
I know.
And every day when they got home from school, it was Pokemon time. That song is still stuck in my damn head.
Well, the
Oh, I
Japanese
know.
national anthem.
I want to be the very,
Very best.
like no
Like
one
no
ever
one
was.
ever was.
Yeah, it's just like
To catch them is my true test. To train them is my cause.
I'm pretty sure it was to train to catch them is my real test.
it
To
doesn't
train
matter.
them is my
The
cause.
point is,
I will
that-
travel across the land, searching far and wide.
As a matter of fact,
Hey James.
Yeah. Do you know that I saw the banned Pokemon episode that had Ash Ketchum's mom in it,
Oh God. I think you're talking about the beach episode.
where she won the
Yep.
bikini contest because apparently she had giant tits?
Yeah.
Which is weird because when she sent Ash out into the wilderness to die, she didn't really look like that. But then in
No.
the beach episode, she's in her string bikini, and you're like,
It was her and
Well,
Professor.
well, I guess.
It was her, Professor Oak, sending Ash out to get him out of the way.
when
It
he's
was-
10. It's like, well, Ash, you're 10 years old. Time to go out in the forest and hopefully not die. You know?
I'll take care of your mom for you, Ash.
Yeah.
Here, have this electric rat.
Also, in
Yeah,
that,
this electric rat. Get out of here, kid.
also in that same band episode, it had James Cross.
Oh,
Cross-dressing.
James, cross-dressed and had fake boobs.
Yes.
That
Here's
was
another
just-
fun one, James.
That
And the-
was a very confusing episode, I think, for a lot of young kids.
Oh God.
But in the end, I think Ash Ketchum's mom won.
Yeah.
The weirdest cartoon back in the day in our time, bro.
Hmm.
Voltron.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had like people get ripped in half by robots, some SAs going on, some self deletions, and we were glued to the TV every time that show was on. Like, yeah,
The one cartoon that they tried to put on TV and I would never watch was Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon. Yeah, that was
As soon as that shit
That was
came on, I
pretty
was
popular.
out.
yeah.
I'm like, I ain't doing that. I draw the line. But I would be up every Saturday and watch Looney Tunes, Dungeons and Dragons, and then the Hanna-Barbera hour. And
Yeah.
a lot of times that would be, I would get to see Thundar the Barbarian.
I love Thunder the Barbarian.
And watching Thundar the Barbarian, I think, is what made me such a huge fan of Gamma World when I was a kid. Just the whole idea of, a wrecked Earth and all that sort of shit.
Well, brother, I got to bounce out and get ready to take corn dog to work.
All right. I'll
I love
probably be
ya.
on when you get back.
Yeah, I got to go by the park.
I'll probably be gaming when you get back.
I gotta go drop corn dog off, then go by the park and hit all the pokey stops.
Yep. See ya, Hungar.
What a nerd.
I am.
Yeah, you're weird for playing that. That's already dead. Nobody
No,
plays that
it's
anymore.
not. Pokemon Go is not dead. The 27 friends that I interact with on a daily basis on that game will prove that it's not. And I've been playing it since it came out.
I'm just teasing you,
But-
man.
I can say this, though. Growing up, I was very lucky in that, like once my mom bought me the D&D stuff, yeah, Haas and my younger sister were the
Well, we were
freaking
with you when she got it for you.
right
Walden Books, baby.
Walden Books, and they were my my test dummies for a lot of very poorly understood D&D.
All right.
As
Well, I
long
love
as
you,
you're
brother.
having fun, that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, like I told you, Tim, for about the first few months, I didn't know there was a difference between basic and advanced D&D even.
Hmm.
So we had the Moldvay box set, but then we had like, I don't know, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and we're using rules from all of it. And it was just like, whatever, man. And yeah, I basically was a terrible DM, but it didn't matter because it was something to do. And we lived way out away from everyone. So like I would play D&D on the bus to school in the third grade because the bus ride to my school in the third grade was like an hour and 15 minutes each way. So, a couple of the guys, we would sit there and we had a guy named Paul would run D&D on the way to and on the way home from school.
For me, I only had to really ride the bus whenever when my mom was at work and, my dad was driving the bus. So I'd have to go with him through his whole route because if he didn't, I'd be home alone.
Right. Fighting off thieves that were trying to rob your house.
Not really fighting off any thieves. We live in a very nice neighborhood.
Tim. The movie Home Alone, dude.
Home Alone, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Come on, you missed that. That went right over your head.
Purposefully, I did. I just didn't want to acknowledge it.
When they went to the underworld, I don't remember any of it because I didn't watch it.
I watched it a little bit. I mean, it seems to be one of those kinds of shows, kind of like what Totally Spies was for a certain group.
I do know that another one of my favorite bands, the Bare Naked Ladies, mentioned Sailor Moon in one of their best songs.
Huh.
Yeah.
I didn't
They
know
say
that.
they like to watch Sailor Moon because that cartoon's got the boom and it makes them think the wrong things.
Yeah, that's like what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of show.
If I think you're funny when you're mad, trying hard not to laugh, I feel bad. That's me and my wife. When she gets mad, a lot of times I just think it's adorable, which just makes her more mad. So it's like this weird feedback where she gets angry. I think she's adorable. And then she gets mad that I think she's adorable. And I guess because she wants me to maybe feel like a little bit like, oh shit, I pissed my wife off. But the problem is she's like so little that it's like, I'm like, you're just my trotty little elf. I'm sorry, I can't be intimidated.
Okay.
But
yeah,
that's
another
a true
thing
story.
about Sailor Moon is that the English dub actually censored it by making the two sailor couples into sisters.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done with anime. From now on, the only anime that I will allow to be talked about on this channel will be Berserk.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not all of it's like that though. Like Ascendants of a
Yeah, not all of it's good like Berserk. Some of it sucks.
No,
Like
I mean, not
Berserk.
everything's like Sailor Moon.
That's right.
Some of it can actually be good. Like Berserk.
Like Berserk. Or that one that you told me about. I finally watched that on Crunchyroll.
What was it?
They got the one kid that they keep acting like the kid's like mentally whatever. And he's at the track. Run like there's a big black man behind you.
Yeah, Ghost Stories. The English dub was just so funny and good that they actually
and the kid just sits down and they're like, well, at least we know he's not racist.
Yeah. They actually redubbed that anime in Japanese. just because of the English dub.
Yeah, because I guess it sucked really bad in Japan, so they just told
It
the
was,
Americans, do whatever you want.
yeah. It was just so boring. Nobody cared about it, and then this happened, and then everybody cared about it.
Yeah. And
It
when they
was
gave it to the Americans to dub, oh my God.
it was the abridged parody of its time.
Yeah, the actual American voice actors just went off. And it was like,
Heck, I mean, I think Ascendance of a Bookworm's getting really good, and a little bit dark.
but
Which is funny.
okay, I like Freren's good.
Frerin, yeah, Frerin.
Freren is good. I can deal with Freren, even though my favorite character died in the first episode.
Himmel.
Himmel.
Oh, that's fair. That was
But
sad.
you know what? Yeah, it's kind of weird because I like the Watchmen movie, but my favorite character in Watchmen is the comedian. And no, not because I'm an edgy boy, but because I liked the comedian's kind of outlook on, like, he was the one that understood that things were jacked.
Yep.
Early on, he was the one that knew that Professor Manhattan was going to be a problem, and no one wanted to listen to him. Plus, I kind of like the outfit, the black leather with the American thing on the shoulder. And I don't know. I like the comedian. And the actor they got to play him in the movie is one of my favorite actors. He played Negan in like The Walking Dead, the guy that smashed Glenn's face in with a ball bat.
I wouldn't know that one either.
Well, he also played the Winchester's dad in Supernatural.
Never watched that either.
Well, okay. Then I'll just say I like the actor very much.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a good actor. He's like William D'Onofrio. I kind of like him in everything.
Yeah.
And you probably don't know who that is. He was Kingpin in the series, the Daredevil series.
Daredevil series. I
he
might have
was
seen.
also Gomer Pyle in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, okay. I know that one at least.
Yeah. So Freren is good.
Yep.
Berserk is good. Goblin Slayer and Goblin Slayer Bridged are both really good.
Yeah.
Samurai
Champloo,
and but now we're talking classics like Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop was like its own whole thing,
Oh yeah, I know. That was a fun one.
Yeah, it like completely, for guys like me, Cowboy Bebop made anime something that you weren't embarrassed about. Because it was just so cool that it was, Cowboy Bebop made anime cool when it came out. Because it was not cool. Before Cowboy Bebop, anime was like the really weird nerds were like into. And you're just
I guess it's just because how young I am. I was like, I remember being cool. Everybody liked it.
Yeah, but you're like 20 years younger than I am, bro.
I know.
When anime very first started hitting, it was
America,
like Voltron and stuff.
Yeah.
And that stuff wasn't too bad. But then when the actual really weird Japanese anime started coming across the ocean,
oh god,
it got to be like this thing where it was like, okay, you had like these people talking about watching like, something of the Overfiend and shit like that, right?
Oh boy, yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, these guys are weirdos that should be on a list or something, right? And Sailor Moon, going back to Sailor Moon, did not help with that assertion, It's like, what kind of people are watching these supposedly 13-year-old girls running around like this? This is not something cool, right? But yeah, but then I remember I was watching Cartoon Network one night. You remember when they used to have Toonami or whatever it was?
Oh yeah, that was my childhood, pretty much.
Oh, dude, and Cowboy Bebop come. I'll never forget that whole,
Cowboy Bebop, Outlaw Star.
Just how it starts when the guys are like, "Hey, get everybody together," and all that.
I still kind of miss Tom.
Dun, 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 dun.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hell yeah, Cowboy Bebop was like the best.
Yep.
And
But
it had
yeah,
everything I like: kung fu, guns,
yep.
and westerns in space.
Yeah. It's not the
So
only
I
one
mean,
though. I
it's
mean,
like
there was also like Outlaw Star. Man, I have fond memories of watching that.
some of them were just dumb though. Cowboy
Yeah,
Bebop was actually like an anime for people who actually use their brain.
fair.
The very first episode was sad too, where that one woman's with the junkie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh
red-eyed
man, that's been so
coyote
long.
they called him.
I need to rewatch Cowboy Bebop. I
Oh
haven't
man,
done it in so long.
yeah. And poor Spike was basically starving to death because all
Oh,
he was getting to eat was Jet's special peppers and beef.
yeah.
And what was special about it is there was no beef.
Yeah.
And poor Spike's like, man cannot live on carbohydrates alone. He's just freaking. I mean, it was just so good, man. Cowboy Bebop was just such a good show. It was like in my generation before you, Tim. Cowboy Bebop was the anime you could go to the comic shop and talk about having watched and not get made fun of. Because most of the other ones, like I don't remember a bunch of them, but if you went in there and you were talking some weird shit about most of the anime, people would be like, "Shut up, weirdo."
I mean, I get it. I mean, you see weird things like Fruits Basket, which has got to be the most boring weird. It's not even weird. It's just boring weird.
Yeah, they come out with some weird shit back in those days. The Japanese did. They were
Usually off the wall insane stuff that just you're like, what the heck is even going on? Fruits Basket.
Oh, I know. When you're hanging out and somebody's trying to tell you about the adventures of JoJo's Bizarre Joe or something.
Or no, you may be thinking of Bo.
Yeah, the guy who actually all of his special attacks had to do with his nose hairs or some shit.
That's Bo.
And you're just like, what is wrong with you, kid? Go touch grass.
I know.
Go throw a rock across a pond or something. I mean, what are you doing?
To be fair, that's not even that weird comparatively.
That's the problem.
I mean, I've seen a movie.
That's not even that weird, might actually be. And another one, there was this kid that used to watch and he used to talk about, and I'd just be like, okay. So I watched an episode of it and I was just like, yeah, that kid needs to be on a list. And it was Space Dandy.
Space Dandy. I never watched that one.
And it was just like, what is going on here?
I would have expected like Fooly Cooley or something.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Back then, it wasn't quite as accessible. 25 years ago, if you wanted to watch anime, you had to like actually go find a cassette tape.
Or something, yeah.
Right. And hope that you got a good one that had, good subtitles or whatever. I mean, it wasn't like now where you can just turn the TV on and watch shit. I mean,
or just stream it online anymore.
Right. Crunchyroll did not exist. So,
well, to be fair, at a certain point, it did exist only as a pirate site.
Right. So like the anime fans, I will say this, they had to work to be fans.
Yep.
It wasn't easy. They had to actually go out of their way to try and find the stuff they were into. The problem was a lot of the stuff they were into was so weird that a lot of them would get ostracized by everyone else for all the weird shit they were watching. Now people are basically getting over that. But there was a time 20 years ago, 30 years ago, let's say, where claiming that you watched anime was like saying you were on an offender list. It was like the assumption, It's like, oh, you like anime? Yeah, this guy's probably on a list or something,
Especially with the more adult entertainment stuff, I could see that.
Right, because of how weird a lot of that shit was. And that was the stuff that you heard about. You didn't hear about, the Lodos War. That wasn't the
The
one you heard
Lodos
about.
War?
You heard about
The
the high
anime
school of the demon overfiend that runs
Legend of
around
the Overfiend or something like that.
abusing, high school girls or something. That's the one you heard about. And it's like, what the?
Nowadays, those are just, things that you'll find that's like weird clips of online for some reason.
Yeah. Like I knew a guy who was super into all that shit, and I told him never to come to my house. He was also really into like the trauma films.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah, he was like a huge fan of like Tromeo and Juliet and all that shit. And I was like, you know what, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I like finding weird stuff too, but this is just a little too much. I'm
Like,
more
I don't think I want
weird,
to actually know you.
not
Like,
disturbing weird. I want funny weird, like hijinky type of stuff.
yeah.
Although there was that one time where I was really hoping this one anime was going to be more like Romero style zombies and a anime hijinks type of thing.
Yeah.
It turned out to just be like almost. It was not what I wanted. It was just a little bit like, what do you say? It's not exactly porn, but kind of teetering on that edge. It wouldn't show nudity, but it would. Yeah, I wasn't happy. I was like, yeah, well, this is a letdown. I was, again, wanting like high school hijinks with like Romero style zombies.
Yeah, you're a
Just
weirdo.
why?
But anyway, now that, we got that out of the way.
Ugh.
Yeah, my brother's the one that's always been into the Korean rom-coms and shit like that. It's like, really? Okay. Honestly, not that I could talk shit, because I did play that freaking game. I did play 5 Hearts Under One Roof.
Yeah, there's starting to be a lot of those type of games now.
And both times I did end up with Gran, who was the oldest one of the 5 girls. She was like almost 40.
She looks pretty good for being almost 40, to be honest.
I'm telling you. Because there was the one girl you could hook up with, and she was like 18. I was like, no.
No.
The one that lived in the attic or whatever.
Yeah, that one was a little... I didn't even think about that.
I'm not doing it.
I found her weird different ways, so I just didn't like her anyway.
Right.
I was just like, I don't like her. I'll just ignore her
Well,
completely.
what was weird was like the fact that she's living in your parents' like attic, and you didn't know.
Yeah, I know.
So that brings up so many questions. Like, Dad, why do you have an 18-year-old girl living in the attic? Does Mom know about this? Is this some weird ass shit I've stumbled upon? I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't a fan. Now, I think the one you're supposed to end up with is your childhood friend, and I never ended up with her.
That was the main trope of any Asian game, I'd say, is the childhood friend.
Yeah, the really tall girl.
Yep.
But nope. I ended up with the professional girl that's like 20 years older than I am. Or the character anyway,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is cool.
She was my favorite.
So, got the game coming up next Saturday. That'll be fun.
I gotta say, the secret ending with the doctor was kind of funny.
Oh, the one you found in part 2? It's like, hey, congratulations. You played for 5 minutes. You're done.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
That there were a couple that were like that I had to actually go back and not do shit because the game would just end. And he'd be like, hey, you're a friend from college and you are now a couple. Yay. And I'm like, what? I've been playing the game for like 30 minutes and you're going to pull this?
I did it way faster. I mean, I speedrun the game. It was like 5 minutes in. I'm done with the game. Okay, then.
Like, what is going on in Korea? That's what I want to know.
No,
They're making
apparently
all those
casual
games
hookups.
like that. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what these Koreans are up to, but they're up to something.
They're doing the Vegas style marriages here.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, you were talking about something about your game, though?
Oh, I'm just looking forward to it, you know?
Yeah.
Just looking forward to it. Not sure what the group's gonna do. They're still discussing amongst themselves, like whether they're going to go back to Mender's library or cross the river and try to clear out Stojanov Keep,
Take over Stojanov Keep.
or what they're going to do.
Never got to actually do Stojanov Keep. We never got to that point.
It's also a lot of undead.
Yeah. I mean,
But
we did the graveyard.
if you do things right, there's a ghost and everything. And if you do things right, then the ghost ends up like helping you.
We got practically all the districts completed. I mean, we even got the Temple district cleared out, the Wealthy district, and
The Temple district is not easy. The Temple of Bane.
we did that one in a really weird way.
Like you join the religion and then like get them from the end.
Not exactly. We more or less carpet bombed them until we decided we just like negotiate.
I don't know what my group's going to do. I know they're not going to be doing any carpet bombing.
Yeah, that was a weird circumstance where we were able to do that.
I should think so. A weird happenstance.
And then, at a certain point, we were just like, we were kind of fed up with having to deal with them, so we just like negotiated them to leave.
Well, the good news is, depending, they could just head a little bit to the north and they'd be in Zintel Keep.
Yep.
So, not even a problem, right?
Yep.
Just get out of here and go to Zintel Keep, you guys. I don't know if you ever went around or if the DM ever like told you about what was outside of Flan.
Oh yeah,
But-
we've been out of Flan a couple of times.
There's an
been to-
orc village not far up the way with like 150 orcs in it or some shit.
Huh.
So
I wonder if that was different in our game because that might have been changed for us.
yeah, there's a lot of stuff that gets, that DM, like I told you, no matter what pre-published material I'm running, I always end up changing stuff. And it's not because of arrogance or whatever. It's mostly because of I want the adventure to set in my world better.
Yeah.
So some
Like
things
how I
just have to be changed a little bit.
Like, I mean, we've been to Zintel's Keep.
Well, depending on the alignment of your group, I mean, you could go and visit there.
Well, we didn't really deal with alignment. It was a little bit different,
Right.
And
But
I
I mean,
mean,
even in the Forgotten Realms, if you weren't good, if you were like neutral or something, you could probably go there and depending on how powerful you are, shop, stay at a tavern, do whatever. If you were actual Bane worshippers, you'd be like in like Flint,
oh wow, actually, now that I think about it, if they were Bane worshippers, like if that was town ran by Bane worshippers, it's probably good that we went there before we messed with the Baneites.
Right.
Because if not, that would have been terrifying.
Well, in my version of Flan, the main, there's numerous shrines, but the main actual church is Tasagwa. And the reason I went that route is because in the game, Tasagwa is the most common deity worshipped by humans. So it only makes sense. You see what I mean?
Yep. Oh, here's a fun one. The Pool of Radiance. We actually almost probably ran into that pool once.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and not under the castle, because it apparently has, like, 3 or 4 places in the realm that it can actually spawn in.
Well, yeah, I think there was one in like Mythdraenor.
Yeah, there's one in Mythrainer. One actually pretty close to the castle that we were at, in Plan. There's like
Right.
one I think in the mountains that you could actually get to.
Right.
And we went to that. We went to that place. Oh boy.
Yeah, all in all, that is just a really good pre-written adventure.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of stuff you can do there that's really interesting,
Yep. We dealt with the pirates.
Right.
We found a really cool tower that would phase in and out of reality or time.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got a Derringer from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's just a pretty well written, pretty solid adventure all the way around, really.
Yep, I traded that Derringer for a flintlock from the dwarves.
Well, your game was weird. Players, the only thing the players have found magical, which it is a very powerful item, is after they defeated the orc warlord. The cleric found that his footman's mace was like a +3 footman's mace.
Ah, nice.
That is
Also-
a very powerful item.
Also, one of the earlier things that we had to do was actually go down the river because the whole river was like being poisoned by something. We actually had
Yeah.
to go in and clear out a bunch of old dragon remains
Right.
to clean the river.
Yep. And my river is full of gulpers,
Hmm.
which are the gigantic, like 20-foot long catfish.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you don't want to be swimming around in that river because
No.
on a natural 20, you just get swallowed. And what makes getting swallowed by the gulper even worse is if it swallows you, it's just going to swim to the bottom. And that means unless you personally can fight your way out of it, you are going to die because the rest of the party can't help.
Crap. Ah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I'm trying to remember
frogs and
something.
stuff, they swallow you, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to help.
Buddies could be- Yeah.
But catfish swallows you, it's not hanging out and waiting for other people to jump in.
I'm trying to remember a magical item, and I can't remember if it had any water breathing properties or if it just helped you swim. The cloak of the manta ray.
I think it allows you to breathe water. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have too much of an issue with that then, because I can now breathe underwater because of that cloak.
Yeah, you're still going to have issue because that catfish's stomach acid is cooking you.
Yeah, that'd be an issue.
And the cloak of the manta ray is not helping.
No.
So, yeah, you definitely need to get the hell out of Dodge before you just end up, digested. Yeah. And that wouldn't be a good thing. And
I got disconnected for a bit.
you were on that was literally like the quickest disconnect ever.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of surprised that happened, though. Though my power did go out earlier this morning.
Yeah, I was on Shadow's show earlier with Mike.
Huh.
That was fun. We were just,
That's one thing I can't wait to see, and that's what Shadow might be making for Bubba's game now.
He likes to play high magic, so elves and stuff probably.
Maybe he'll be a mage.
He
I
might.
think we have a magic user yet, too.
I can't say what he'll do. I just know from hanging out with him that he's not a super fan of playing the Sagwa Lives, right? He's not a super fan of playing humans, if
Yeah.
because he likes to play Yeah, I was just talking about the only actual cathedral in the city of Flan in my campaign is the Church de Sagua. There are shrines to the other gods, but nothing that actually has a, like an around the clock priest that's actually hanging out there.
Yeah.
And I went that way because de Sagua is the most commonly worshipped human deity for some reason. I don't know why.
Who
Like, why
knows?
would you pick to worship like a giant, hairy, lazy toad? I mean, you could pick Apollo. So, yeah, James Hawkwind of Hyperborea. Yeah, I've got some shirts coming. I won't do any work in them when I wear them, but I will wear them on stream.
Yeah. Why not
And
Thor?
it's basically all of the work that Cold Iron has done for me.
Eh.
I went to like Team whatever, and I got shirts done.
Yeah.
So like, there's a shirt and it's got the big picture of my character and my dog doing things, based on all of the pictures he made. Which I was hoping he would be in chat because we were talking all day on Discord. I decided just to be a bro that I would buy him the Frostgrave rulebook and a couple of boxes of Frostgrave miniatures. Jeff decided it. Yeah, that's a great answer, but actually Jeff didn't decide it. Clark Ashton Smith did. Because remember, at the end of the story Doorway to Mars, the cult of Yonde loses power and the cult of Tasagua becomes the main power. And yeah. So Jeffrey just went with, Clark Ashton Smith. Well, like I said, I might actually post a link to the actual where the shirts are. I probably should. And I've picked a few up myself already. And Hungar, I think, said he picked one up. And I know he gave the link to Bruce Lombardo. And Bruce has already picked up a couple of shirts with me on it. Me and my dog getting into adventures, as it were.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm gonna have to head off
even
here anyway,
better.
though.
Okay,
I gotta
homie.
get ready for him tonight. I'll see ya.
I'll see you. Now, the one thing I'm waiting for and I'm hoping is going to be as awesome as I hope it will be is that Juju whatever thing. I did buy 2 miniatures from them. They're just around 40 millimeter, and I posted them on my Discord. So, yeah. So there's a miniature of like I'm standing there with the shield and the sword, and there's another one where I've got the axe back. And I'm hoping that the website is everything that they say they are, but you never know. I mean, you never know. But having a couple of miniatures of literally me for the D&D game, man, that would be pretty badass. Now, because they're 8 millimeters taller than most of the miniatures I play with that are generally between 28 and 32 heroic, it pretty much means that my character is going to be like a 7.5 foot tall guy in that game. Whether I was thinking if I made a character like that was based on the art that Cold Iron has done, I would probably make him a Khromarium. Because the Khromarians are, in a way, they represent the ancient Slavs. So, yeah, I'd probably go with the Khromarium. Warrior, just straight warrior. Why? Because the straight up warrior in Hyperborea can get grand mastery of weapons. And that is some bullshit right there. Because even the fighter subtypes cannot get grand mastery. They can only get mastery. And when you get grand mastery, you get like +2 to hit, +2 damage, and additional attacks. Get out of here. And that starts at level 4. I mean, you can only be a grandmaster of one weapon ever, but, you know, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll pick like two-handed axe and have my character become like a grandmaster with a two-handed axe. And that basically would make it where I could +2/+2 and 3 attacks every 2 rounds or some shit like that. I mean, that's just baller right there, right? So again, and I always tell people this, yes, there are a lot of subclasses in Hyperborea, and a lot of them are incredibly neat. But before you immediately run to the subclasses, read the base classes and understand the differences. You know, because in almost every way, in my experience so far, the base class is better than any of the subclasses. Like the basic cleric, in my opinion, is way better than a shaman or a rune carver or whatever. The basic mage is better than a chromancer or a pyromancer or a necromancer or whatever. So the only reason to actually choose those other classes is roleplay reasons. Like you just want to play a necromancer for some reason, right? But when it comes to the actual things that those classes are known for, like in any other kind of role-playing game, the base guy is going to be the best one every time, you know? So, of course, that could be me being a little bit power gaming. But hell, getting weapon mastery with a great axe at level 4 as a basic fighter, even if I had no bonus to strength or anything, that would give me +6 to hit. And then minimum +2 to damage on a 1/10 because it's great axe. So I would be able to hit an armor class 0, which would be like an armor class 20 in other games, on a 13. That is insane. So a guy that's armor class 9, I'm hitting that dude on like a 4+, just, you know, ripping and tearing, right? So, yeah. I choose the Khromarians because they're basically ancient Russians. Or maybe I would just say my character is a Kurgan, because they didn't invent that tribe, the Kurgans. They actually were an actual real people that lived in the Russian steppes and left barrows all over Poland and Russia and Ukraine and Belarus, that whole region. And they were badasses. So I could just be like, you know, a Kurgan, like a big freaking 7-foot tall Kurgan, just freaking wandering about with my gigantic. He couldn't be a Pomeranian, but he could be a Samoyed. He could be like a really big Samoyed, right? And we could just be wandering around doing shit. Or I could be a Varangian that somehow ended up on Hyperborea. You know, a warrior that used to serve the Eastern Empire and Constantinople, but now, you know, Hyperborea. You know, there's no end of the things I could do, basically. Basically, my character could do just about anything. And that's what makes it awesome, you know? One of the reasons I love the game so much is because of that right there, you know? I can play the character I want to play. Now, some people, like my dear friend Shadow, They might have issues with it because they can't play elves. And okay, that's fine. You can't play an elf. I got that. But it's my opinion that you don't need to. You don't really need to play an elf because the humans in the game are so freaking cool that it's like, why even, you know, like an elf. Is an elf really cooler than a Hyperborean? No, it's not. It's not cooler than a Hyperborean. It's not cooler than a freaking Khromarium or Celt or just a common man. So, yeah, I am firmly in the humanocentric campaign camp these days. Like 100%. 100%. I'm all in on that. And I absolutely think that, you know, some people might think playing a game that's entirely humanocentric would be limiting. But I'm here to tell you that I don't think it's limiting at all. If anything, I think it's kind of freeing in a way, you know? It's kind of freeing because you can concentrate on the actual culture and stuff like that of the characters that you're playing and the people that you meet instead of worrying about who's got pointy ears or not. And I just really find that to be just a really good thing, you know? Because, yeah, I'd much rather worry about, you know, the cultural differences between Celts in the Gaul wastelands or whatever and Yakut in the mountains than having to give a shit that somebody likes drinking beer and speaking in a Scottish accent. You know what I mean? Dwarves, basically, I'm saying. Or, you know, some Ponzi elves are doing something or other. It's like, I don't know. That kind of stuff just doesn't move me anymore. I'm not thrilled by it. There was a time when I was, but that time is long gone. When I was a little kid, I liked the whole idea of the elves and dwarves and stuff. But now that I'm a grown up, I've just kind of grew out of it somehow, you know? And I don't mean that to be like a way towards people who still love their demi-humans. I mean, by all means, knock yourself out. But I've just gotten to where I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters, you know? Like, so if someone wants to play a freaking gnome, does it really matter? I don't know. What's the point anyway? You know, it's like, why is this gnome even out here adventuring around? That's my question. Same for the dwarf or the elf. Why are they even out here? Why aren't they back where they come from? You know? Because, and I say that because the different demi-humans supposedly do not have the same kind of drives as humans do. And humans have the drive to explore, conquer, exploit, you know, loot, whatever. But supposedly elves aren't supposed to really be afflicted by that, let's say. So you got an elf that lives hundreds of years, and they're living in the middle of their beautiful, perfect elven woods, eating their beautiful, perfect elven food with their beautiful, perfect elven friends. Why would they ever leave? You know? And the dwarves are deep under the mountain, digging until they hit evil. So again, the dwarves, it's the same question. Why would they ever leave their dwarven holes? I mean, depending on some source materials you read, the dwarves don't even like being under the open sky. It aggravates them. So right there, you're like, okay, you're playing a character that doesn't even like being outside. You know, a whole race of agoraphobic, bearded little bastards. And that's the character you want to play. You know, it's like, I mean, it could be worse. You could run into that character that wants to play a freaking orc. Be like, no. Fortunately, Hyperborea solves that issue with players wanting to be orcs. You know. So I guess that's kind of my rant a little bit about just stuff. It's like there are things that I just don't know if they matter. They make sense. It's like, but meanwhile, in our game, the cultural differences between, say, the Lycodamian and the Celt are kind of drastic. I mean, can they get along? Obviously, they're friends now, you know, but one of them grew up, and dwarfs too, right? One of them grew up in a, you know, a small town full of, you know, maybe 1,000 people like him. So that's actually a larger town, but still. And with their own language and everything, worshiping different gods and everything than the other guy who grew up in a very small town in the wilderness where they were constantly having to be on, you know, guard from vermi and orcs and various other raiders, including the Vikings. And I'm comparing basically the guy who's from Nova Sparta versus the Celt that just grew up in the Celtic lands, you know? I mean, they're both humans, but they're very different. And I don't know for sure. I think the Celt is like decided he was worshiping some Celtic god, not Lou, not Bell. I'll have to look it up. Whereas the Spartan is worshiping Apollo, I think, or Athena. Rel, yeah, god of thieves. Yeah. I mean, and why not? I mean, if the Spartan could actually be a fan of Rel, since Rel's actually just Hermes. So, and that's canon right there. I mean, Rel is Hermes. So, and I added to the Celtic pantheon. I added oh geez, now I'm going to forget the name. Starts with an N. He's always at war with Nyarlathotep. Nodens. Right. And I think that's a much more interesting kind of role-playing environment, you know, where, yeah, okay. And just because they're all human, it's like, oh, you know, when the guy playing the Spartan describes his character, he's kind of a muscular but short, olive complected guy with, you know, black hair and a beard, whereas the Celt is actually tall and has lighter colored hair. And then the Hyperborean looks like a corpse and is almost 8 feet tall, you know. Then the Amazon is like basically a beautiful Greek woman, except she's like 6 foot plus, as she would be, being, you know, an Amazon. The Viking lady is like 5'11". So yeah, even though they're all human, they're all very distinct from one another even. And so again, it's like anyway. So yeah, I'm just a huge fan, and I can't wait till the Khromarium book comes out. That's going to be awesome. I am all about that. So anyway, guys, this is a Scorpion Man, and it come with like a two-handed scimitar, but I swapped it out for a couple of Dark Elf weapons because Dark Elf weapons always look kind of wild and, evil looking. And according to the book, the Hyperborea, bestiary, Scorpion men generally like to dual wield. And so in a turn, they actually get 5 attacks. They get like 5 attacks, man. They get like sword, pincher, stinger. So these guys are not to be messed with. And then here is the body. I had to glue the legs on, and I got to put the tail on now. I've got 5 of them total, which should be plenty. And then the other day, I think you were here the other day when I found this out, Stephen. Serpent men are 2+2 hit die, but they very, very commonly have classes. So maybe your average generic serpent man, snake man, let's say guard, is just a 2-2 guy. But like more than half of them are going to have up to 6 classes in different careers. And each level they have in a class is an additional hit die. So when you run into serpent men, I mean, you don't know. This one of these serpent men could be like a level 5 necromancer. Assassin's another one that they take a lot. Thank you. I am a huge fan of Seth Skorkowski. Seth Skorkowski doesn't know I exist. That's fine. But I am a huge fan of his work. I like it a lot. I really do. His videos on how to play Traveler, I think, are some of the best how to play videos ever made. And of all these guys, obviously, this guy is the best guy. This is a guy you want to have like at your table in multitudes. This guy I don't know about. And this guy, Dweebles, he's evil. I'd watch out for this guy. Just saying. Something ain't right with that one. So that's what I'm doing with my hands while I'm talking. I have left a message with him about, hey, you should check out Hyperborea. I mean, you like AD&D, you like Conan, you like Lovecraft. I mean, this is right up your alley, right? But he hasn't responded. And I don't know, maybe there's two possibilities here. The first one is probably the true one. One, he has no idea who I am, so he doesn't really know what's going on. Or two, he does know who I am, but doesn't like me. Now, in order to believe the second one, I think I'd have to be a lot more narcissistic than I am. Chances are Seth Skorkowski has no idea who the hell I am. So me being like, hey, you should, I mean, he's probably got all kinds of other stuff he's trying to do right now anyway, right? I mean, that dude's, not only does he have his show, which is awesome, but he's been on other people's shows and, he's got a wife and all that kind of thing. So, but maybe Senpai will notice and we'll decide to review Hyperborea 3rd edition. I think he would love it, honestly. Based just on, watching his videos, I am 100% sure that Seth Kurkowski would probably absolutely love Hyperborea 3rd edition, because it is, okay, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty certain it is everything he likes. That's the thing, though. It's like he likes the weird Cthulhu stuff, and he likes old school D&D, and he likes Conan. So if he didn't like it, I would be super surprised. Let's just say that, instead of saying something with certainty. I'll just say I would be very surprised if Mr. Skorkowski did not like Hyperborea. I would be incredibly surprised. But it could happen. It could happen. Maybe he might have seen it and just been like, that shit's not for me, Okay. I mean, that's fair. Everything ain't for everyone, right? That's one thing we know. And people who tell you everything's for everyone, they're lying. They're just trying to sell you stuff, right? Like when Wizard Coast says D&D is for everyone, what they mean is they want everyone to buy the game. That doesn't mean it's actually for you, because you might not like it, and my voice went all high for a minute. And the reality is different people don't like the same shit. So the idea, do I think everyone's going to love Hyperborea? No, I do not. Not even close. Now, I thought Shadow would love it, and he proved me wrong. He proved me way wrong, right? And I was sure, 100%. I was 100% sure Shadow and Son, friend of the channel, homie, all around great guy, would absolutely love Hyperborea. Because he's always talking about all that weird kind of gonzo-ish, but not really. See, I think it's unfair to call Hyperborea gonzo, because it's not gonzo. You know what I mean? It's not gonzo. There's no gonzo about Hyperborea. You will not run into strawberry people. It's like someone needs to sit down and figure out what counts as gonzo versus what counts as just weird. To me, gonzo is off the wall kind of shit that don't make sense. But the difference, the thing is, things in Hyperborea, no matter how weird they are compared to our mundane world, make sense. There is a reason for shit. Everything makes sense. So no, I don't think it's gonzo. In the way that, say, Arduin or Burroughs and whatever, or Venger Satanis's games are gonzo. No, I don't believe that. I play Hyperborea. We play the game straight. So yeah, it's not like it's, oh, hi, let's have fun, like Paranoia or something. No, shit is serious. You know what I mean? So I've heard, Steve, I've heard many people say that they think Hyperborea. Okay, I'm back. I think claiming Hyperborea is gonzo is a disservice to Hyperborea. I mean, if Hyperborea is gonzo, then every other setting's gonzo too. So, say anything. Probably Shadow, because Shadow and they're watching, I'll probably try and guilt them into joining, and they might be doing stuff. So I end up with a lot more lurkers than I do active people watching, but I appreciate everybody who drops in to say hi, Janet and all that. I really do. I think it's very kind. Even though, let's be honest, guys, I'm going to sit here and do this anyway until 8 o'clock. And after that, then, if the wife is of a mood, I am going to play a board game. That's what I'm saying. I think that, yeah. Steven, you and me, man, I think we're on the same. I think we're picking up what each other's putting down. And I think that, yes, a lot of people assume a lot of things that aren't so. I mean, I was thinking about the other day, I was looking at the calendar, right? Yeah, I was saying they're just quiet. I was looking at the game calendar the other day when I was talking to Hungar. They're year 1, month 6 at this point, which means the sun is only in the sky about an hour and 50 minutes a day. So the swamps outside of Khromarium probably freeze over a lot more often than not. Because during that first few months, I mean, there's a lot of everything, because you have to think, if they're in month 1, that means they just came out of year or month 13. And month 13 is, a month when there's no sun and it's all super winter all the time. So, and then of course, every 13 years, you have a full year of winter. So yeah, Hyperborea. I've said this though, and I know you've heard me say this, but avenge me, brother. When you play Hyperborea, it's not just the monsters that want you dead. It's like the whole damn world wants you dead. It's, so when Steven over here says it is a grim world, it is a grim world. It is a world that should not exist and yet does. And, and we know why it does. And there is, I mean, kind of the copy freaking, the copy Games Workshop with Hyperborea, there's no peace. This is a rough era full of warfare and brutality and the laughter of thirsting gods, as they say. That's pretty much the whole setting for Hyperborea right there. I mean, and a lot of different people don't like each other. Like Vikings are not well liked in Khromarium. And they're certainly not well liked amongst Celts in general. Being that, very recently in the timeline, they burnt down a Celt city. So, the Celts didn't forget that shit. And then, as we're saying, you've got a world where the climate can change so drastically that a part of land can be like the Everglades here in Florida for half of the year and a frozen tundra for a couple months. And then somewhere in between. And, because Hyperborea in the book, it wobbles. So, the climate changes drastically. And then add to, on top of that, the kind of creatures that would have had to adapt to even survive in a world like this. Right. Well, if you want to talk about disharmonious men, think about like the vermi or the vermis, however you want to say it, right? They live up in the mountains. They're horrible creatures. They will come down and they will do horrible, horrible things to whomever they can catch. And the orcs are just as bad. I've been on and on about the orcs, but so like in normal games of D&D, they will give advice to a DM, like if a character gets knocked to below 0 hit points, the monster moves on to attack something else, right? Not in Hyperborea. If you're fighting some orcs and you get knocked to the ground, they will hack you to little bits. They don't give a shit. And vermis will eat you on the spot if they can, you know? Unless you're a woman, and then we don't even want to go into. Yeah, lucky for you, everybody likes, yeah, right? Hungar is playing the one race that pretty much doesn't really like anyone and no one likes them. It's just everyone's kind of, you would think the way everyone feels about Hyperboreans that people would just gang up and wipe the Hyperboreans out. But apparently, as a ethnic group, they are still powerful enough to make people think twice about effing with them. Plus, I mean, Tasagwa likes them best, you know. When everything was going shitty, Tasagwa took the Hyperboreans to Saturn and taught them sorcery and technology and shit. So there is that. But yeah, man. I got all of the published adventures that Jeff has done. And you know, so I've got adventures lined up for our group for probably the next 5 years. You know, I've got the one with the Viking, and then I've got the one underneath whatever meteorite or whatever comet, and the island of the Summer King, and yeah, the Hyperboreans are Tasagwa's chosen people, pretty much. You know, he did take them in and take care of them when everything was bad. So, but I did do that. I did end up throwing a little money and buying all the adventures for the game. And I've already ran one, which I can tell you definitively I thought was a really good adventure. And it's the one that's set in Zambala. The anthrophages, something of the anthrophages. That was a good adventure. It's well written, very good. But now, of course, I'm running a old AD&D adventure because that's what the players picked. I do have the Eyeless Serpent, the Fane of the Eyeless Serpent or whatever, and I've got the I even went and got all the free adventures because Northwind, whatever, Jeff Talanian's site for Hyperborea, they have a lot of free adventures that you can just download. And one of them is you're fighting the Burmy, and in one of them it's the Temple of the Carrion Worm, which is kind of cool because there's an actual Clark Ashton Smith that talks about, the Temple of the see that box set. Yeah, you've been with him longer than I am. I am a relatively new convert. Now, I did buy into 3rd edition during the Kickstarter. So I don't know how many years that's been. It's been a few years. So I can say that. I did Kickstarter 3rd edition. But I completely missed 1st and even 2nd. By the time I knew 2nd edition was even a thing, I started looking to buy it. And everyone wanted $100+ for the rule book. And I'm well, I actually came very close to just buying it. And then I read that the third edition was coming out in like a couple months. So I'm like, well, instead of paying hundreds of dollars to try to buy somebody's used second edition rule book, I'm just going to wait. And that is what I did. I waited until the third edition Kickstarter happened. And I jumped on that shit all in. And at the time when I got it, I was kind of burned out from just D&D books. So I kind of looked through it, but I didn't look through it. I just kind of skimmed through it. And I thought, in my head, I have to admit, in my head, I thought, well, this is just, like an AD&D knockoff or something, whatever. And I threw it on my bookshelf and never looked at it again for like years, couple years at least. It sat on my bookshelf for quite a while. I would say maybe 7 months, until 7 months ago. And then I forget who I was watching, but I was watching somebody and they were talking about how awesome Hyperborea is. And I was like, I own that game, right? And I went and looked, and yeah, I did own the game. And I thought, okay, then let's see what the buzz is all about. I already own the game. I might as well check it out, right? And boy, I'm glad I did. Boy, I'm glad I did. Yeah, and like I said, I didn't give it like the fair. I didn't like read it. I skimmed through it and I said, oh, fighters, mages. Oh, these are kind of neat. That's kind of neat, whatever. But I think now Hungar might remember better than I do. I think we just finished like an OSE campaign and I was just kind of not feeling D&D for a while. I was wanting to do other things. And so I just never really got into it. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know when third edition came out. I know it's been years, and now I gave away all my third edition stuff, and I've got the 3.5 core books anyway. I gave my brother-in-law the third edition ones. There's not that much of a difference. I mean, you could still have the original third edition, and if you just go on the website and download the freaking what's it called? You would be just fine. The errata. So, okay, this just got the copy, the 2010 to 2025. So this game has been around since 2010, 16 years. It's like, where have I been? I mean, some of these artists, I recognize their names too. So, yeah, man. I love this. Right here, it just says the milieu, if that's how you say that, it's French, of Hyperborea is inspired by fantastic literature of Robert E. Howard, H.P. Lovecraft, and Clark Ashton Smith. Other inspirational art authors include Edgar Rice Burroughs, Fritz Leiber, Abraham Merritt, Michael Moorcock, Jack Vance, and Carl Edward Wagner. And then, of course, he says that he throws a nod to Gygax and Arneson too. Now, if I ever talk to Jeff again, I'm going to ask him how he feels about what's his name? Algernon, the guy that did the Willows, some of that stuff. But like earlier today, and Stephen, you might know what I'm talking about. Earlier today, I watched The Tomb of the Ashen Worm, I think, which is about Mordigian, the god of death. And now I'm going to look because I thought in my brain, when I heard that name, I was like, Mordigian. I think that's actually a deity you can worship in the game, right? So now I'm going to look because I think it is. I think that you can actually be a cleric or priest of Mordigian. And that's part of his, the other setting that Clark Ashton Smith was getting into. I forget the name of it, but because he had the, no, we got Mortizan, deity of death, graves, carnal houses, dogs, ghouls. So I guess the one, it might, am I thinking wrong in that, maybe I'm thinking wrong, and maybe the god in that Clark Ashton Smith was Mortizan, not Mordigian. Maybe I'm making shit up. Thaumagoraga, Klaknaka. Yeah, I listened to a story the other day, is like the Seven Geeses or whatever, where he kept going to the different gods and the gods kept sending him to different gods and he kept, you know. So yeah, a colossal sloth-bodied toad covered in brown-black fur. Zataquat is the most widely, he's supposed to have wings, even though the statue I have does not. The most widely worshipped deity in Hyperborea. He's got some pretty interesting things too. He's like a deity of chaos, life, death, reincarnation, disease, pestilence, luck, misfortune, cruelty, savagery, mischievousness, and sardonicism. Some of those words are really big, and I'm going to have to look them up later. Yickert, the ashen worm. Yeah, I'm saying the ashen worm. I don't think I think I'm mistaking that. I'm going to have to look at that again. And then Yunda. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but in my head canon, Yunda is Shub-Niggurath, the black goat with 1,000 young. And the reason I kind of go there is because he says Yunda is sometimes identified with Sybil and Demeter. And in some Lovecraftian stories, Sybil and Demeter are also associated with Shub-Niggurath. So, you know. So I think Yunda could be the black goat. You know, the horned fertility goddess and all that. And, of course, right up here, I've got my... This is, of course, not Shub-Niggurath, but it's one of the children of Shub-Niggurath. Not the spawn, because the spawns are only yay big. I've got a bunch of them, too. And then I've got Shub-Niggurath somewhere around here. Right here. This is the actual incarnation of Shub-Niggurath. And if I turn it around here, you can see all the horns and the mouth and everything here, right? It just, I need to go back and do the washes so that the teeth and everything are. Oh, the geezes? Yeah, the dark young. That's what I got. I got a few. This one I made when I was doing a lot of 3D printing. And then on the desk, I've got the Reaper version, right? And really, the main difference is the Reaper version is a lot smoother. And you can see how it's a little bit taller, too, right? But, oh, and this guy's got 4 legs, and this guy's only got 3. But it doesn't matter since, they all look different anyway. So put that right up there. Of course, here I've got Slan. And the super cool people out there who watch Berserk will know who she is. Slan. She's the apostle that's like devoted to, what's it called? All of the worst stuff. I've got all of the apostles from Berserk. I don't know that I'll be introducing them into my Hyperborea game, but then again, they would make pretty decent demons, wouldn't they? How you doing, Coco? Doing some cardio. Nice. Nice. Good for you. Get that cardio out of the way, right, brother? And of course, I haven't finished painting this guy yet. He needs his hair and everything done, but we all know who this is, That's Guts, but it's Guts before the Berserker armor. So, yeah, the Black Swordsman. Those of you who weren't here earlier, you missed like 30 minutes of just me going off on how Berserk is the best anime that's ever been done. And poor Timmy just sitting here listening to me go off about that. That's pretty much what you missed from the first hour of the show. Is me making fun of anime, except for Cowboy Bebop and Berserk, really. Well, and a couple other ones too, but yeah. There's a guy who does like these little shorts, and he's got this short where his friend, which is just him, is like, so tell me about anime, and he's like, so, and he's like, what does Dragon Ball Z mean? And he's like, it means it represents the fact that you can achieve your goals if you only work hard enough. He's like, oh, that's good. And he's like, and how about Naruto? And he's like, Naruto says that you can, you have to remember you're all humans and you can all get along. And even if you hate each other, you can work together for good, blah, 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 right? And then he eventually, though, he gets to, and he's like, how about Berserk? And the dude just goes stone face and says, pain. And the other guy's like, what? He's just like, pain. He's like, oh, shit, But yeah, that's not a bad representation. Berserk, it's just pain. But you know what I take from Berserk? Never give up. That is what Guts teaches me as the guy who watches Berserk. Never give up. Guts doesn't give up. Ever. He doesn't give up on Casco when it would be so easy for him to. He just never gives up. I mean, like a demon pokes his eye out and bites his hand off. Does this guy give up? No, he don't give up. He picks himself up and dusts himself off and gets going. And that's just the message, This guy does not give up. He does not know how to quit. And I mean, sure, in the show, there might be some times where his never give up attitude isn't the best thing, but I still respect the hell out of it. You know what I mean? So it's easy to just think that the whole show is just about the pain that poor Guts has to go through. But I think the actual message of the show is just perseverance. just pure 100% perseverance in the face of everything horrible. Like, yeah, never give up, never surrender. I love that movie. But that's honestly, I think, the real message of Berserk. Never give up, ever. And also, he never compromises with evil. For the most part, I would say. Like, it's pretty obvious when you watch the show that Guts is actually kind of a good guy. He really is. Or he would really like to be. And he's got a conscience. When he accidentally killed that one person, I don't know. Okay, the show's been out forever, so you should have watched it by now. When he accidentally kills that kid, he actually feels really bad about it. Right? Griffith would not have felt bad about it. Right. That's a true story, Stephen. That sounds like something that one of my drill sergeants said. That like the big thing is just showing up, just being there and willing to do the work, right? We got Coco doing all that cardio right now, so he knows. I had a bro I used to hang with all the time, and his saying, which I loved, was, "You miss every shot you don't take." And I always thought that was just like a really motivational kind of way to be, Just basically, yeah, don't be afraid to put yourself out there to do whatever you're trying to do. And I dig that. I dig that a lot. So yeah, it's not just about the pain with Berserk. It's about overcoming all the worst stuff and moving on and still, managing to make some friends and do some good here and there. And, hopefully one day save your crazy ass traumatized girlfriend, who is the only woman that apparently Guts ever loved in his entire life. I mean, in a way, that's kind of romantic, right? Because she's horribly traumatized, and how could she not be after, the eclipse? And he's still struggling, to try and take care of her and everyone else. And so, I guess I'll drop this dragging it on shit and just say, though, Guts is an inspirational character. He really is. He is an inspirational character with anger issues, but still. I am putting some metal on some of these guys. It's been a minute. It has been a minute since I've done some work on my blimmies, other than kit bashing parts on them. So while I've got a couple of these guys out here, I'm just going to go ahead and throw some quick paint on them too. What are we looking at? Well, we usually don't film it or anything, but we usually do have something going on in Discord. So you would never be able to see us playing. You would just be able, it's like Bruce, except where Bruce actually does show his players in his game. You don't see my players. You just see the map of what they see. And I've had a couple people pop in. Usually they pop in, they hear us arguing and griping about something, and then they pop out. That's pretty much it. I never stream it, but me and Haas do go into a voice channel on Discord. And because he lives in Tennessee, but he's my brother, and I want him to play with us. So we make a special dispensation for him that he can join us in by Discord. And I normally never, ever allow any like online playing at all. I don't like it. But again, he gets special treatment because he's my brother. And my brother-in-law also. So, yeah. So that does happen. And I don't know. My only rule for that is whenever anybody pops in and they hear us playing, just, don't say anything. If you get bored, then go on. But it's kind of important if anybody's listening in that they don't disrupt whatever's going on in game because, we're gaming. And that wouldn't be cool. That would be uncool. But yeah, if somebody wanted to quietly sit and listen to us argue about shit, they could do it. I mean, it's not like we're necessarily telling state secrets or anything. And the reason I will tell you is this. I game with quite a few people who would be considered professionals, by their career. So we're talking like corporate professional type stuff, right? Like people who work for banking institutions and what, right? And these kind of people are not the kind of people that ever want their face to be seen anywhere. Because heaven forbid, we could be talking about some crazy shit at the table. And you know how the things are these days, right? Somebody makes a joke that's slightly off color, and the next thing you know, HR's calling them into the office to tell them they're fired. So, yeah. So that's why we don't stream. And some of the guys, my brother being one of them, yeah, they like to tell some edgy boy jokes and stuff like that. So, not really something we want to stream too much. Which is wild when you consider I get freaking edgy all the time. But, I've had people threaten to get me fired from my job before. And I'm like, yeah, do that. So that's an advantage I have over a lot of the people I game with. I'm retired. So if I say something on X or YouTube or something that someone gets pissed off enough that they want to actually do something about it, like try to contact an employer or something, I can laugh about it. But the people I work with or I game with who still work, they can't. And it is unfortunate, guys. It is an unfortunate fact that there are people out there who will, over the most minor bullshit, try to get you fired. And they're not doing it because they actually care about anything. Most of the time, they're doing it just because they can do it. It's like, so that is just the sad affair of just life. That's just the sad state of life, that people are like that. But yeah. And yeah, I've actually had, I shit you not, this is a true story. I've had people try to tattle to Wizards of the Coast on me on Twitter when it was Twitter. Because I was talking about something and it was a discussion people were having about how orcs are created and stuff, and beastmen. And I said my opinion, which is, they have to basically kidnap humans. That's just the way that works, right? And a person actually copied my post and added it to Wizard of the Coast and was like, can you believe this guy plays your game and he said this? And I'm just like, but what do you think Wizard of the Coast is going to do about it? You dumbass. Can you believe that? Yeah, they probably can, because it's just been the lore for ever until fairly recently. And if you play Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, I can tell you guys something right now, guys. You generally never see female beastmen. And if you do, it's because they've recently added them. Because originally, the only way beastmen could reproduce is with humans. Or they were just born mutants. That's a possibility too. And the sad thing is, or maybe not the sad thing, depending on how you feel about it, is a lot of female cultists will actually intentionally reproduce with beastmen. So there's a bit of that too, like a witch's cabal, reproducing with beastmen because they worship the same chaos gods and, whatever. There's a little bit in Warhammer, there's a little bit of that old school, like continental European, witches sleeping with goat-headed deities out in the woods kind of thing. And the beastmen are those goat-headed things. So, and that makes sense when you consider that Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is set in the Holy Roman Empire. Now, this old world bullshit can go to hell. And Age of Sigmar can kiss my crusty taint. I don't want any part of any of that. But the original old world was badass. And it was 100% the Holy Roman Empire, which is just Germany. So that's one thing. As much as I love a lot of the Games Workshop IPs, I also have to, I also kind of laugh at the fact that I don't think they've ever done an original IP in their life. Like Warhammer 40K is not original. There's nothing original there. And Warhammer Fantasy is even less original. In a way, the fact that they've become like a multi-billion-dollar company is almost like hilarious in a way. Yep, Fiend Folio had some wild-ass shit in it. But I don't know if they've ever brought them back or not. But people who played like Warhammer way back in the day will remember the Fimmer or whatever however you say it, which were supposed to be roughly modeled after the ancient Celts. They all lived like in the swamp, and they like generated mist, and they were like weird lizard things, but with a cyclops eye, and they had a matriarch that ruled over them who was like a druid. They're raiders and whatnot. I mean, pretty interesting concept for a monster. But then they basically kind of vanished. It was like at some point between like Warhammer or Hero Quest and everything else, those things just kind of went away. Okay. All right. ate something the other day that didn't settle right. My stomach's been kind of acting up a little bit. Not like making me sick, just like, when you just don't feel quite right. It's like, I just don't feel quite right. Like something's going on there. It's either that or I'm hungry. Those are the two options. I could just be hungry. Okay. Yeah, I think we talked about that, Stephen. I play Skull Pass. But to be brutally honest, I have no idea what edition that is. But I bought so many box sets of Skull Pass that I have like a ton of the rule books. And so, yeah, that's pretty much where I am. And then I've got my old codex for my Dark Elves. And that's kind of what I do. My beautiful, beautiful Dark Elves with my Hag Queen and the giant altar of Cain and, all of my witch elves running around. And of course, I've said before, I think to you, my favorite unit in the whole game is Dark Riders. I love my Dark Riders. They are the best. They're always wherever you need them to be, jacking everything up. 7th edition. Yeah, you probably told me that before, and I just forget. But, yep, that's the reason I play. The edition I play is I bought like 5 boxes or maybe even more of the Battle of Skull Pass. And so it's just what I got, And I did go out of my way and buy a bunch of Warhammer 40K codexes for 7th edition when I was planning on. Hungar kind of wanted to play orcs versus my 30K army. And since the edition of 30K that I have is 7th edition Warhammer, my thought was that you just get the 7th edition Alien Codex that you want, Xenos Codex, and go to town with it, right? So, but then he moved away and got rid of all of the 40K stuff, but still got that 30K stuff. So if he ever drops back by down here, I do have an army of Emperor's Children he could play. You could definitely get on that Emperor's Children kick. Yeah, my Dark Elf army, I think the last time I counted the points up was like closer to 5,000 or 6,000. Chaos Dwarves, I loves me some Chaos Dwarves, man. I can't believe like the fact that they kind of just like stopped supporting that range. The Chaos Dwarves are one of the coolest armies in the game. Now, I do have a Chaos Dwarf army for fantasy, but it is 100% 3D printed. Now, the guy who put the STLs up for the Chaos Dwarves, basically, they are identical. You cannot tell them apart. So, yes, I do have a Chaos Dwarf army, but it is not an authentic Games Workshop army. And the other thing I have is a Chaos Dwarf fleet for Man of War because, Man of War is my favorite Games Workshop game of all time. My brother and I play that every chance we get. We would play Man of War. He plays dwarves. I play Bretonians. Except I have a very large dark elf fleet in Man of War too, complete with the Black Ark of Nagaroth and all of the dragons and all that. So yeah, I can be a threat with my dark elves in Man of War too. Dwarves in Man of War, I think the people who play dwarves in Man of War do it because they're just so easy to play. When you play dwarves, you don't actually have to worry about the wind, or anything like that, because all the dwarf ships are steam powered and all of their weapons, for the most part, are on turrets. So dwarves are super easy, man. It's like you just kind of cruise around doing whatever you want, right? Whereas the Bretonians, that's a finesse fleet because they have to worry about the wind and all of their guns are broadsides. So in order to actually do anything, they have to line shots up right. But their advantage is nothing in the game has as much weapon firepower as a Bretonian galleon if it gets a broadside. That thing is beast mode. Okay, so I haven't put the modeling snow on this guy yet, but done. I built this while we were talking today, in addition to like a bunch of other stuff. But so the Scorpion men are done. As far as assembled, I'll have to, they're pretty easy to paint since they're mostly black. Like the Scorpion bodies are black, so they'll be pretty easy to paint. Then I need to find the cloak for this guy. This is a big Hyperborean cleric I've been working on. I gave him like a dark elf helmet. He's got a big footman's flail. There's still some detail to do, the studs and stuff. But so when I was talking about kit bashing for a Hyperborean helmet, that's the way I went. And I think I'm going to do his cloak coal black. And then, yes. Haas played an elementalist and used just any random figure he could find for his warband, as long as it had the right weapons. I played a thaumaturgist, and another guy we played with was playing a necromancer. And then the fourth guy we played with, I can't really remember what he played. But we played a lot of 3v or 1v1v1s. And yeah. So how Hungar made his actual warband is he basically like went through my D&D models. And if he needed thieves, he just found whoever was armed with a dagger. And if he needed a thug, he'd find whoever just had a hand weapon, and on and so forth, right? And he didn't worry about like the actual race or species or whatever. So his Frostgrave warband had like halflings and kobolds and goblins, and like pretty much everything was in it, because you know how Frostgrave is. The only thing that really, really matters is the model has to be pretty much equipped with the correct weapon so that it's kind of easy to tell whether you're looking at a thief or a thug or a crusader or whatever, right? And yeah. So as the game went on, he's adding like pig-faced orc crossbowmen, one of those, and he's adding like, this and that. That was just do you need to go to the store? Oh. And that's just how he built his warband, which I thought was really cool because I kind of went the opposite direction. I had, North Star Miniatures Frostgrave figures. So I made a wizard that looked like a thaumaturgist, and I made my warriors and knights. But I when I used to talk about Frostgrave a lot, I used to tell people that, and the same goes for Oathmark, right? Yes, they sell official miniatures. No, you don't need to buy any of them. And the guy who created the game, that's his stance on it too. I mean, you can literally, like you said, you can put together your 10-man unit of adventurers, and it can look like just some rando D&D group going into the frozen city to try not get, ate, which happens a lot more than you would like. I've had games where I literally lost like half of my warband and had to run away from the game to keep my wizard from getting killed. And there's been war. There was one game we were playing where there was basically an undead generator in the center of the table. And we lost control of it, which means we were too busy trying to kill each other that we ignored the skeletons, and they started building up and building up. And eventually we had to call a truce with each other because the way things were going, it was looking like we were not going to get any treasure at all because the undead were just going to swamp the whole damn table. And then, of course, there's the occasional wandering monster that shows up. I mean, everyone loves it when a vampire just randomly wanders onto the table. Shit like that. Or barbarians just happen by, a raiding party of barbarians just happen by to say hi. That's a good one too, Like, oh, look, a shit ton of barbarians. Or gnolls or whatever, It's like, oh God, cultists. Now, one thing I did with Oathmark and another guy that I used to talk to, I haven't seen him in a while, is I made an Oathmark army out of the cultists from Frostgrave. And it might seem like it would be difficult, but it actually really isn't because Oathmark armies are typically not that big, So I think it was 5 boxes total. And I don't think I even used all of them, And so for the horsemen for my cultist army, I just tuck units that where the torso's on the horse and the top is not, and put, cultist stuff all over it. So, you'd be surprised. You take a normal figure and throw one of the weird cultist hoods on or something, and it looks the part, So, yeah, I had units of cultist spearmen and units of cultists with, sword and board and archers and the whole 9 yards, man. Right now, I'm actually putting some Nuln oil on this guy while I have it out. So, I can get some detail out of it. Oh, man. Do. Yeah, I'm going to have to Probably put some Russian mud on this bad boy at some point, and then put some grass on, and maybe do a highlight with like a really dark black blue or black brown, just to show off the muscles and stuff. But right now, just getting the teeth done and everything's pretty good. Set that there. So yeah, I'm just getting some stuff done. Yeah, I heard that too. I also heard that he's not going to do shirts anymore so much, because I guess when he was in chat, he said he was thinking about not doing the shirts, which made me sad because there's quite a few of them I really would like to get my hands on, but it's understandable, if he's like not making any money on it. I totally get, not wanting to invest in something that's not giving you any return. So the only shirt I have is the one that says, "Oh no, it's a Shoggoth," which is still kind of cool. I still really like it, but I really would have liked to get the one that's the whatever of the Heptomancer. Yeah, where you got the like the female adventurer leaping through the air with like the sword and stuff. That's a cool looking shirt. I'd like to have that, but let me see now. There it is. I need my dry brush. My dry brush. Then I need to get the paint off of it as much as I can, and then grab these blimmies and dry brush the top parts of them, just to lighten them up a little bit. Just a little bit of, a little, some happy little dry brushing, some happy little highlights. To quote the man, Bob Ross. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm barely putting any highlight on these guys at all. But it does, you can see it though. You know what I mean? Like it's barely there, but it's there enough. Yeah, they went quick, and all of the shirts he still has, they're like small. And unfortunately, I can't wear small. I need at least, I'm most comfortable in a 2XL. And I mean long. Like anytime they give me the option to buy a long shirt, I always buy the long ones. Because I like when my t-shirt kind of hangs down, a bit. I am not a fan of a short shirt. And also, it's part of my build, too. My torso, I have a long torso. I don't know why, but I do. So, like, an example of that is that I can tower over somebody when I'm standing. And then if I sit down, we might be eye to eye. So basically, I got stumpy little ass legs is what's up. So, yeah, anytime I mean, I'll fit in a large half shirt. Yeah. No, the long shirts when it's so like I can fit a large. 1X is actually, this right here is a large. 1X will fit me, but then I like 2X because I like really baggy shirts, and they have to be very long because I don't want to wear a shirt where like I look like freaking what's his name from the cowbell skit, right? Like my whole gut's just hanging out, trying to pull it down all the time. I've that's been an issue for me most of my life because a lot of shirts, they're not built for somebody who has a very long torso and stumpy ass legs. So yeah, and that's my issue. So mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I gave this guy a bow. It's one of the bows Reaper made, and it looks like the bow is made out of like the spine of something. So kind of a cool bow. I gave quite a few of these guys ranged weapons, just about a third of them got ranged weapons, the blennies. And then about a third of them got spears. And the rest of them just have random assorted weapons. So, what do we got? It's about time for me to go. It's about time for me to get out of here. I think everybody that was watching has went to play their games. Or someone more popular is on. Because, the viewership dropped dramatically. But then again, 8 o'clock, that's when Bubba runs his Dragon Slayer game. So that's why we lost Timmy. No hate. Why would you want to sit here and listen to me when you could actually be throwing dice? You know what I mean? I totally get it. Okay, I think I gotta take the trash out tonight too. I think tonight's trash night, and I gotta tote the can down to the curb. The wife likes to we call it fridge amnesty. Go through and make sure we throw away all the stuff that's been in the fridge too long. But yeah, I started a little early, so I'm going to end just a little early. So everyone who hung out, thank you, peace and love and all that. And Stephen, pleasure, sir. And I will chat with you guys next time. Until then,